Welcome to Astrology Innovation. Today, I'm going to talk about the multidimensional shift that's going on right now and how this can also be related to the intersection between the zodiacs. So, in summary, we will see a little bit about the tropical dimension, the sidereal dimension, and the intersection between both of them. And also how this can bring really big changes. So, here we have the zodiac. We can see both zodiacs here. The outer one is the sidereal zodiac, and the inner one is the tropical zodiac. So the sidereal dimension, the outer one, relates more to the stars. It's closer to the actual stars, but it's also a cosmic clock. And the inner one is the tropical zodiac, which relates to the seasons. So it relates to a more Earth-Sun relationship. So for me, the tropical is more earthly and sidereal is more spiritual. So stars and Earth, and but both have qualities for everything. So, for example, tropical Pisces, it's still very spiritual, but within the tropical dimension. So sidereal Pisces would be uh, a spiritual sign within the spiritual dimension. So, yeah, so that's really powerful. And now we will see some things going on. Um, so this chart is the 18th of January of 2025. And we will look closely, but there's so much going on, and especially within the intersection of both zodiacs, which is one of the main themes of this video. So, for example, if we look here, we can see, for example, Virgo. This is sidereal Virgo, and this is the beginning of sidereal Virgo, and this is the beginning of tropical Virgo. So now if we see the ending of tropical Virgo, there's a small range where there's uh, a Virgo for both of the zodiacs. So I have another video that explains tropical, sidereal, and even true sidereal zodiacs, which I go much deeper into the differences and all that, if you want to go deeper on that subject. But here we can see this relationship. This is because of the age, the great ages. So as we transition to the age of Aquarius, for example, here we can see the the beginning of the tropical zodiac. It's coming closer to Aquarius because it goes clockwise, this rotation. So in around 420 years from now, the beginning will be in Aquarius. The beginning of the tropical zodiac will be in sidereal Aquarius. And this is the age of Aquarius, which we're already shifting because this is like the transition between Pisces into Aquarius. So it's like the transition period right now. Um, yeah, so here, since we're not yet fully in the age of Aquarius, all of this range, it's a little bit more than 5 degrees. So those 5 degrees are an intersection between both zodiacs. So, for example, here it's really clear. We can see Neptune at 3 degrees of the sidereal zodiac, and it's on the last degrees of the tropical zodiac. You can see. So, this is the same line of Neptune in the tropical zodiac, still in Pisces. And now the North Node just entered tropical Pisces. So here we see something very, very powerful. We see uh, not only this conjunction of the North Node and Neptune, but it's happening on the last degrees of Pisces of the tropical zodiac, and on the first degrees of Pisces of the sidereal zodiac. So it's in Pisces in both zodiacs, and it's Neptune, so the ruler of Pisces in double Pisces. So that's very powerful, also very spiritual, and magnified because of the node as well. This is also the beginning of a very powerful spiritual transformation because Neptune will begin a whole new cycle on the tropical zodiac really soon. So it will go into Aries, then it will come back to Pisces, and then it will go back into Aries and stay, and then it will go the whole zodiac again. So this is very, very powerful. And it's going to be a spiritual rebirth for humanity. Uh, but also, if you look at Saturn, well, actually, today this conjunction as well. But if you look at Saturn, you can see how it's also going towards this range that has this intersection between both zodiacs. So right now it's still in Aquarius in the sidereal zodiac. It's already in Pisces in the tropical one, but it will be in this range. And so Saturn will also be in double Pisces, also Venus, but this will be quicker. So we'll focus a bit more on the outer planets. So Pluto was a long time on this range. So it was a very long time of Pluto in Capricorn in both zodiacs. So this was also very interesting. And another thing that's very interesting about this is that when this happens, even though probably many astrologers don't even know this is happening, whether sidereal or tropical astrologers, they could be having some similar opinions without knowing it. So, for example, let's see Mars now. For example, when Mars was in, let's say here, a sidereal astrologer would analyze the uh, Mars as being in Gemini, and he would tell you the qualities of Mars in Gemini, while the tropical astrologer would tell you the qualities of Mars in Cancer. But and that happens almost all the time. Like for example, all the way from here to here, that will happen with this sign, and the same happens with every sign. So it's like they don't uh, kind of agree always, but this is very powerful because whether they know it or not, they are agreeing that Mars is in Cancer because it's in Cancer in both zodiacs. So it's also like when there's this intersection, there's also this whether conscious or unconscious intersection between the interpretations of both astrologers. So sidereal and tropical astrologers. So it's also kind of a unifying force between these two types of astrology that many times they don't agree with each other. So it's very beautiful to see that whether they agree or they don't agree, this wonderful intersection that we will still have for at least our lifetime. In 420 years, it will disappear, but um, it's a beautiful intersection that unifies both systems and both astrologers, whether they know it or not. So now returning to this Mars, it was direct. So it was in Gemini, sidereal Gemini, and it went to Cancer, and then it went retrograde. And at the same time, it was in Cancer in the tropical, then it went to Leo, and then it went retrograde and back to Cancer. So this intersection of Cancer, tropical and sidereal Cancer, Mars retrograde is going through it. It went direct, retrograde, and then it will go direct. So three times. It will go three times around this very powerful intersection of Cancer in both zodiacs. Right now, it's still in this, it's on the last degrees of Cancer. Since it's retrograde, it's gonna go into Gemini now in sidereal, but we're still within this intersection. Yeah, so now we see the moon. That's interesting. The moon is here right now, but um, the other important thing is the south node. So the same as the north node, but instead of the intersection of Pisces in both zodiacs, here is the intersection of Virgo. So these are the true nodes also. And afterwards, this will happen with the mean nodes as well. Um, so now this is the mean black moon. So it's about to go into this intersection as well of Libra for both zodiac systems. And then also, well, Pluto finally went out of tropical Capricorn. Yeah, this was like a long time. And then now we have a long Pluto in Aquarius um, path that will be really interesting. And here also we see Chiron. So Chiron will go into sidereal Aries. So, oh, sorry. So Chiron will go into sidereal Aries, and it will begin a whole new zodiac cycle in the sidereal zodiac. That's very important. And at the same time, it will be within this intersection. So it will be in Aries in both zodiacs. So, for example, right now, it's having an impact for us to heal personal wounds, especially from the material world. So, um, personal material wounds, while at the same time, more spiritual wounds um, in the sidereal dimension. So, double the spiritual. So, very, very deep spiritual wounds that we will have to heal, while we also heal personal wounds. Yeah, and as it transits into the new cycle, yeah, there will be many changes as well with this. So you see how with Neptune and Saturn, 2025 they will enter Aries for the first time in a long time, very long time, and but at the same time, so it's the beginning of a new cycle, of a new Saturn cycle and a new Neptune cycle, and both of them together conjunct is going to be a very, very big shift in the world by itself. Now seeing it in these two dimensions, there's going to be very dramatic changes with this. But now we can see that at the same time, while Saturn and Neptune enter into this new cycle in the tropical zodiac, Chiron will enter this new cycle on the sidereal zodiac. So simultaneously, in multidimensionally, we have a Chiron, Neptune, and Saturn uh, new cycle simultaneously. We will have a very spiritual new cycle. Yeah, a new beginning for the collective spirituality and a new structure, new structures. Also, probably more spiritual since it's gonna be conjunct Neptune, Saturn, and also we have at the same time a new healing cycle. So we're clearing the end of very old wounds collectively. So in the tropical zodiac, we already entered the new cycle. So began clearing old wounds, and we began a new cycle of healing as well. And now we're gonna begin that same cycle on the sidereal dimension. Um, yeah, so it's very, very powerful, everything that's happening. Also, Jupiter this year, 2025, it's gonna be go all the way to Cancer in the tropical zodiac. So it's also gonna go into this range of the intersection of Gemini in both zodiacs. So it's gonna be a double Gemini themed Jupiter. And also here we see this is a very interesting one as well. Uranus uh, has been also in this Taurus intersection, and it just went retrograde back into Aries in sidereal dimension, and then it will go back into Taurus, and it will be again in this intersection between both zodiacs in Taurus. So with this, all of this that's happening, we will have a lot of very marked themes. So, for example, here, Mars has double Cancer themes because it's in both dimensions, it's in Cancer. And the same here. So, the South Node, double Virgo, uh, the Black Moon, double Libra, Saturn and Neptune, double Pisces, Chiron, double Aries, um, Uranus, double Taurus, and Jupiter, double Gemini. All of these happening the same year. So very marked themes, but also very beautiful. The what I was mentioning before that both astrologers, sidereal and tropical astrologers, whether they know it or not, they will be very um, harmonized between each other. They will interpret very similar themes with this intersection between the dimensions of both zodiacs. So, yeah, it's just some of the things I wanted to share. It, we can always go much deeper, but I think it's like the most important themes, shifts that are gonna happen this year. Well, actually, there's other important ones. So Venus uh, will go retrograde uh, at the beginning degrees of Aries on tropical zodiac. So it will go retrograde within this intersection as well. So in double Pisces will go in and then back again here and then back. So three times. Also Neptune and Saturn will also go retrograde. So yeah, this is gonna be amazing. And also Mercury will go retrograde in this same range. So it's also gonna activate all this. So this multidimensional Pisces is gonna be very, very active. And also these first degrees of the tropical zodiac. So um, yeah, also the eclipses because the nodes are also here. So the eclipses will be really close also to this. And yeah, so by themselves, like for example, the Saturn Neptune conjunction by itself, it's gonna be life changing for everyone. But also, well, we have Pluto just entering Aquarius and staying there. As I mentioned, Uranus is gonna enter sidereal Taurus, but also it's gonna change into Gemini in the tropical zodiac. So there's so many things going on at the same time, especially with the slow moving planets. We're gonna feel it definitely. It's gonna be very visible how things are changing really quickly, and it's gonna be a very interesting year. Be ready for a lot of change, so also be mentally prepared. physically prepared and spiritually prepared. So make sure to take care of yourself, your health, your mind. Don't overwhelm yourself because there's a lot of energy going on. And yeah, so just try to take it easy. And yeah, so in general, just be ready for change, take care of yourself, and yeah, and stay tuned so you don't, so you can harness these energies the best way possible for you. Yeah, so thank you so much. To stay updated, make sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And also, it'll be interesting to see what you think about this multidimensional approach between these two different zodiac systems, and what you think about this intersection that we still have this for our time. And yeah, so also share it with people you think will find this interesting. And you can also visit my website to learn a little bit more about my work, and to, if you want an astrological consultation. And you can also watch related videos like the one I mentioned at the beginning. It speaks more deeply about the differences between tropical and sidereal, and also true sidereal. And also you can see some of the new techniques I've been developing, or other of my content if you're interested. And thank you for staying until the end. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.